Now on CoastTV News.
Never forget. 24 years ago today, the terrorist attacks on America. We look at the remembrance events planned on Delmarva and nationwide.
Charlie Kirk assassination.
Oh my gosh, he was just shot!
As tributes continue in the wake of the conservative activist death, the latest in the attempt to find the shooter.
School security. The measures under review in Wicomico County after a student was found with a loaded gun at a high school.
Good Thursday morning, Delmarva. Dealing with a few pesky showers early this morning, but the skies will be clearing through the afternoon as we warm up back into the upper 70s. Your full forecast is coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we start this hour of our newscast by going back to New York City for a live look. Today is September 11th, 2025, and plenty of tributes on tap today for remembering the terrorist attacks 24 years ago, especially in that city, where the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center were destroyed. So again, it is Thursday. It is September 11th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. As we continue with our 6 o'clock hour this morning, we honor the victims and the heroes lost on this day 24 years ago. And we are now going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono to talk about our forecast. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Elisa and Matt. Good morning to you, Delmarva. We've had a few sprinkles and drizzle across the eastern shore, portions of Cambridge here this morning, but those have since pretty much are weakening. 66 right now in Cambridge, winds out of the northeast about 6 miles an hour. We had a few showers over the last few hours, but those are beginning to push off to the south and weaken. Other than that, we're pretty dry through most of the peninsula as we begin to clear as high pressure builds into the area, and we're going to see some sunshine break out this afternoon, and that is certainly going to be good after highs only got to 68 yesterday in Georgetown. We're holding at 63 right now, 64 Laurel to 66 Indian River Inlet, and 66 in Ocean City. You can see wind flow continues out of the north-northeast, but we're much calmer along the coast. We're not going to have that strong, persistent northeast wind like we had yesterday where we had gusts 30, 35 miles an hour. It's actually going to be a really nice day along the coast with a nice sea breeze, clearing skies, turning milder here over the next few days, and right now a beautiful weekend to look forward to here on Delmarva. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon as we rise to around 78 degrees. Those winds out of the northeast at about 5 to 15 miles an hour, and we're going to continue to see that sunshine really through the end of the week and into the weekend. Coming up, we'll talk more about that and look at the extended forecast and how long the dry weather is going to stick around. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. And preparations are underway for the tribute in the Lights to Shine in New York to honor those who lost their lives in the terrorist attacks on 9/11. The beams are formed by 88 high-intensity spotlights, and they can be visible up to 60 miles away. The light beams represent the Twin Towers that once framed the New York City skyline. The tribute in lights will start at sunset and will stay lit until sunrise on Friday.
And that is our top story this half hour. It has been 24 years since those attacks on American soil. Ocean City is continuing its week of events in honor of 9/11. The town's own remembrance beams of light have been shining since Friday and will last through tonight. There will also be a joint tribute this morning from 8:46 to 10:28.
Motorcycles, bagpipes, and brotherhood on Ocean City's boardwalk. It's all in remembrance of 9/11. The Red Knights Motorcycle Club is hosting its Parade of Brothers ride, and organizers say the bikes will then line the boardwalk before rolling out at 11:30. The Ocean City Fire Department bagpipes and drums will lead the way into a memorial service at noon at North Division Street.
And happening today in Salisbury, a ceremony to honor the victims and heroes of 9/11 is happening. According to city leaders, the program includes remarks from the mayor and the police and fire chiefs. It will feature a combined honor guard, a bagpipe performance of Amazing Grace, and the traditional ringing of the bell in the 5-5-5 sequence to honor fallen firefighters. All this begins in just a few hours at 9 a.m. at Fire Station 16. And there are several other remembrance events happening today. You can head to CoastTV.com for a full list.
It was New York and Washington that were the centers of the attacks, and this week volunteers in New York put together millions of meals. It's part of the 9/11 Day of Service and Remembrance. It's a day co-founder David Payne came up with to honor people, first responders, with a showing of the same solidarity and will to give that overcame New Yorkers and Americans as a whole on September 11th, 2001, and the days that followed.
There's no expiration date on goodness. You know, it's something that lives in us every minute of every second of every day.
And this year, more than 6,800 volunteers are in New York City, packing more than 2 million non-perishable meals for people who are at risk for hunger.
Tonight, plans to extend a waterfront structure near the Sinnapunxet Bay are getting a look at by the Worcester County Board of Appeals. The Ruark Family LP is one of the entities making the request to modify zoning for extending 4 waterfront structures for a living shoreline project. The public hearing on that request is scheduled for 6:45 in Snow Hill.
Latest in Sussex County emergency preparedness. Now, later this morning, the local emergency planning committee will get updates on a hazardous materials training workshop, also recent incident reports, and upcoming drills. This hybrid meeting takes place at 10 a.m.
The proposed Dollar General is back in front of city leaders in Milford today. According to the agenda, the city will review a findings report at the Board of Adjustment meeting. Recently, the parking plan has been up for debate. A request to reduce the number of parking spaces from 54 to 48 was denied at a previous meeting. 54 is what's required by city code. One neighbor we spoke with says he hopes this denial makes Dollar General find a different space altogether.
I don't think it'll look good because, I mean, we've got the golf course, which is all nice and everything. It fits the neighborhood, and a Dollar General with a big parking lot just isn't going to fit the neighborhood. It's not going to look proper.
And the developer did say that building to store the code with 54 parking spaces is possible, but that would be more impactful to neighboring properties and the removal of trees. The project is looking to add a new store on 2 acres of land off of South Rehoboth Boulevard in Milford.
New this morning, Cape Henlopen School Board set to address several key topics, and one is the district's policy on family life and human sexuality curriculum. Board members also looking to possibly combine its policies on employee leave. That school board meeting is open to the public, and it is at 6 p.m. at Love Creek Elementary.
The city of Salisbury and the Salisbury Police Department say they will cooperate with the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office in efforts to remove any incarcerated individuals found to be illegal immigrants. They will follow an ICE program known as 287G. The program allows police departments to identify and process illegal immigrants, enforce limited immigration authorities with ICE oversight, execute warrants on illegal immigrants in jail.
Manhunt is still underway for the suspect of accused killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk at an event he was hosting at Utah Valley University.
NBC's Bofta Yiman shows us what witnesses say and how American leaders are reacting.
In the hours after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was fatally shot in a brazen attack, armed officers swarmed Utah Valley University, while Utah's governor sent this message.
I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
Witnesses say immediately before the shooting, Kirk was taking questions from an audience member about mass shootings and gun violence. Moments later, fear ripped through campus.
It was terrifying. None of us knew what was going on.
Kirk co-founded the youth organization Turning Point USA back in 2012. With millions of online supporters, he's credited with being a one-of-a-kind organizer, mobilizing the youth vote for Trump.
TikTok helped, but Charlie Kirk helped also.
I truly believe that President Trump, throughout these last couple of years, overcoming all these odds is one of the greatest stories ever told.
And it was Trump who announced his death on social media, ordered flags to be flown at half-staff, and later gave remarks in a 4-minute video.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagreed.
But on Capitol Hill, most stayed away from politics and leaned in.
Please rise for a moment of prayer.
To swift bipartisan condemnation.
This is detestable, what's happened. Political violence has become all too common in American society.
At kind of a loss of words. It is, a horrendous thing to see.
Kirk's event was the first stop of a multi-state tour. Now it's the last place many will remember seeing him. In Washington, Bofta Imam, NBC News.
School leaders in Wycomico County say they are committed to improving safety, and that could mean weapon detection systems at school entrances. This comes shortly after a discovery at Parkside High School on September 3rd. A senior was caught with a loaded handgun in their backpack. Nobody was hurt, but the Board of Education says they are taking it very seriously. Parents want the board to take quick action, but say the issue can be dealt with outside of school as well.
First, they got to start at home. Kids shouldn't have access to guns, period. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, they need to do something because, like I said, I'm fearful for my wife and my child in school, man. Seriously.
I bring you greetings. The Board of Education has a work session later this month. Superintendent Micah Stauffer says they will discuss a plan to roll out weapon detection systems in Wycomico County schools.
Happening tonight, it is the start of week 2 of the NFL season when the Burgundy and Gold head to Green Bay. Second-year quarterback Jaden Daniels threw for 233 yards and a touchdown in Washington's opening day win over the Giants. Kickoff against the Packers in historic Lambeau Field is set for 8:15.
And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Yeah, coming up, seeking squirrels. We'll tell you about a reminder from DENREC for some of these animals in the first aid.
Also, harm prevention help. We'll tell you how the Wycomico Health Department is encouraging everyone to get the help they need.
And we will show you how one house in Ocean City is having a big impact on their little guests. It's this week's Coastal Connections, and it's right after the break.
The only thing worse than getting a critical illness diagnosis is if your child gets a critical illness diagnosis. Then the whirlwind begins, and while the doctors do their work to try to help the body, other groups, like Believe in Tomorrow, have stepped up in other ways. In this week's Coastal Connections, we take a look at a new facility they've opened in Ocean City. Smiling faces. That's not usually the first thing you think of when you hear the phrase childhood cancer. But in the toughest moment of a kid's life, the hardest moments for families, the Believe in Tomorrow Children's Foundation is there to provide a little relief, as CEO Marianne Davis explains.
The goal is to reduce the stress that these families are under and going through, and treatment, and allowing them to reconnect and renew their energy.
Believe in Tomorrow offers what is called respite housing. The new House by the Sea 2 condo in Ocean City actually has 5 different units, 2 big enough for large families, the others a bit smaller, and as founder Brian Morrison tells it, the price is right.
Families in all of our programs don't pay anything at all.
When a family is on location in Ocean City, they'll meet others facing the same struggles, which begins at the Monday night barbecue.
Families start to open up and develop friendships. Sometimes they're lifelong friendships, and that starts on Monday.
The town of Ocean City also plays a role. These kids, these families, they have access to the best of what the coast has to offer.
Fishing, they can go to Jolly Rogers. They get offered surf lessons every Friday morning down at Malibu's. They can go out to local restaurants. They get gift cards. They can go play miniature golf. They can truly do as much or as little as they want. If they simply want to sit on the beach all week and relax and enjoy the ocean, they can do that.
Believe in Tomorrow isn't a medical center. They aren't finding cures or issuing treatments, but they do play a role in mental health at one of the most difficult times that any child or family goes through.
And that's what this is about, giving them a break that enables them to go back into treatment and to continue their journey through their medical process. And if we can kind of make that a little more palatable, a little easier, that's what our mission is.
That mission, which has only expanded through the opening of House by the Sea 2, is a labor of love that requires no gratitude from the kids it benefits, and yet you can feel the appreciation on their faces.
I think our greatest thanks is when you see them laughing and smiling and just, being a kid and doing whatever kids do.
And while Believe in Tomorrow can't provide results, they do provide a respite, a break, a short rest from the challenges of treatment, of cancer, and the incredible weight of life during a daunting and dangerous time.
It is 6:17, and you're looking live at a pretty quiet early morning scene in Salisbury. And so far, Chris, It is a quiet morning.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice start. Pleasant for most of us. We're seeing a few pesky little sprinkles across the western portion of the county, but those are pretty much pushing to the south and dissipating. You can see a few showers there across Nanacoke down through Deal Island and Taylor's Island. Most of us are dry, and really the overall trend is going to be clearing skies through the morning and afternoon as high pressure builds into the area. We're at 62 in Milton, 65 Rehoboth, 63 Dagsboro to 63 in Delmar, and we're at 65 in Seaford. Wind's pretty calm, and even at the coast, we've been dealing with that strong northeasterly wind here over the last 2 days. Today, much calmer. Now, we do still have coastal flood advisories. Sussex County, the coast, we have this up through about 4 o'clock. This is basically through high tide cycle later on this morning. Could see inundation up to 1.5 feet. Worcester County, that runs through about 2 o'clock today, and then further to the south through Accomack County, Chincoteague, that runs through 7 o'clock on Friday. So the next high tide cycle, Lewis 11:57. As we make our way down through Rehoboth, 11:05, 11:52, Indian River Inlet. Again, could see some flooding in those low-lying areas across the back bays. Ocean City, 11:16, and Assateague Island, 11:11. Temperatures rising, upper 70s this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. A gorgeous day after that high of 68 we had yesterday in Georgetown. So temperatures right nearing that 80-degree mark. Inland Eastern Shore will have a nice sea breeze this afternoon along the coast. High risk of rip current, so keep that in mind. Skies clearing through the afternoon, and tonight much cooler. And in fact, temperatures falling into the lower to mid 50s across much of the interior portion of the peninsula. And then by Friday, a mostly sunny afternoon with highs approaching 80 degrees. And it's going to be a gorgeous start to the weekend as we hover right around that average high of 81 degrees across the area. So we have the Walk for Prostate Cancer there coming in at Cape Henlopen State Park there. Saturday morning registration kicks off at 8 a.m. looking very nice from a weather standpoint. Cold front comes through late Sunday through Monday. Most of the moisture from this front, I think, is going to stay to our north. Then as we get into next week, it gets a little tricky. Could see a developing system along the Carolinas. Could spring up some moisture there as we push into Wednesday, but we'll work more on that over the weekend. 78 with some morning clouds, afternoon sunshine. We're at 56 overnight under clear skies, and then a gorgeous end to our week, 79 into our Friday. Mostly sunny skies Saturday and Sunday, and then we're partly cloudy, keeping it dry right now Tuesday into Wednesday with highs in the mid-70s.
All right, thank you, Chris. Now, many recognize Wednesday as World Suicide Prevention Day. It's also known as Wear Yellow Day to help spread awareness. The Wicomico County Health Department encouraging anyone struggling with mental health to call 988. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, available 24/7. And for people on the Eastern Shore, the Life Crisis Center in Salisbury answers a lot of those calls.
It's something that happens every single day. I think there's a big stigma of embarrassment and shame that comes from that, and there shouldn't be. We like to tell the callers, that every feeling they have is valid, regardless if that's wanting to commit suicide or not. The goal is to get them to the point to at least see that their life is worth it and to continue to keep going.
Life Crisis Center says so far this year it has answered 43,000 calls, which includes that 988 number.
The Frankfort Public Library is helping out local families in need by offering free grocery bags with non-perishable food items. The library says these bags are meant to help families have extra food at home over the weekend. They also are serving as a community pickup location. That is according to the library.
Up next, seeking squirrels, what Denrex says you need to know before heading out on the hunt. We'll be right back on CoastTV News Today. Delaware's Division of Fish and Wildlife, they have a reminder about squirrels. They're saying some are okay to hunt, some are not. On your screen, that's the gray squirrel. That's the one you can hunt. Its fur is darker gray with rust brown highlights. And now the Delmarva fox squirrel, this one you don't want to hunt. It's silverish gray. It behaves differently, and they're more likely to walk on the ground instead of jumping from tree to tree.
If you venture out to Assateague Island, you may see monarch butterflies fluttering about the marshes and along the beach. They say peak migration is during the daylight hours. They can also be found in the groundsel bushes and the goldenrod along the edges of the forest. These butterflies can be seen until the end of October, but September 21st through October 4th is the recommended window. Matt, you said you're hoping for a beach day tomorrow afternoon. first, you have to cut your grass today, your favorite chore.
Why do you say I have to?
Your wife told me.
Well, don't forget about, I also got grill cleaning on the agenda because I got to get it ready for those at-home tailgate on.
Oh yeah, Chris and I are coming over to watch the Penn State game.
Well, you're welcome to if you want to. But Chris, it does look like we're looking at a very nice beach day today, and yes, you are welcome to.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the invite. Yeah, we're looking at improving conditions, especially at the coast. We had the strong push of northeast wind here over the last few days, doing little repairs there, putting up the American flag. Clear skies and ocean view, very nice view there. 64. Winds are pretty calm, so pretty nice there. We start off the day with some clouds, but partly cloudy skies through the afternoon through Ocean City, Fenwick Island. Beautiful afternoon there. High risk of rip currents. Lewis starting off with some sunshine, partly cloudy through the afternoon, 75 there, as well as Rehoboth Beach. As we make our way over towards the Bayside, we have some morning sprinkles there. Those are going to be taping off here over the next few hours, and we're going to see partly cloudy skies through the afternoon with highs in the mid to upper 70s. So a gorgeous afternoon. Patricia Hoban, Lewis, Delaware, you're the winner of our Coast TV News Weather Umbrella. We'll have a look at that 7-day forecast in the next half hour. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And after the break on Coast TV News Dollar General debate, we'll tell you what to expect in Milford as a proposed project is back in front of city leaders today.
Also, Cape education considerations, what school board members are focused on just after a week into the new year.
And Race to Blood Drive, the unique experience at the Dover Motor Speedway to assist the blood bank of Delmarva. Coast TV News Today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
We remember 9/11. Our nation forever changed after the terrorist attacks. How people on Delmarva plan to honor those who died 24 years ago.
Charlie Kirk assassination, the shocking events that occurred right after this moment in Utah, where the effort stands in the search for his shooter.
Good Thursday morning, Delmarva. Dealing with a few pesky showers early this morning, but the skies will be clearing through the afternoon as we warm up back in the upper 70s. Your full forecast is coming up.
Store plans stalled. The parking situation for a chain store in Milford, the request that was made, and the reason for a denial.
This is Coast TV News Today.
We begin this morning with taking a live look outside at New York City. Today is September 11th. 24 years ago on this date, we witnessed the horrific events and the terror attacks on that city and the Pentagon outside of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's eerily familiar to what that day was like in 2001. It was a perfect weather day. I remember so many people commented on that. It was just like the perfect weather day, and then the shocking events happened later in the morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us. And there are many events happening today on Delmarva to honor those lives lost 24 years ago. And we are going to begin this morning with a look at our forecast. We're now going to bring in First Alert Meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Elisa and Matt. Good morning to you, Delmarva. We are seeing improving conditions. Certainly a far cry from where we were at yesterday with the dreary, cloudy conditions. Clearing skies throughout the area this morning. 65 there in Laurel as the sun is beginning to rise on the peninsula. We had a few pesky showers and some sprinkles we've been dealing with along the eastern shore and portions of Taylor's Island there. Those showers are going to be dipping to the south, and high pressure is going to be building in, and we're going to see pretty nice afternoon through all of Delmarva with temperatures rising in the 70s. We're at 65 right now in Rehoboth, 63 Dagsboro to 63 in Georgetown. The good news is we're not going to have the gusty winds at the coast like we had the past few days, so winds have settled down, but we still do have a high risk of rip current, so keep that in mind. 78 this afternoon, Lewis, partly cloudy skies. We're at 77 Dewey Beach, Ocean City coming in at 75 with those morning clouds giving away to partly cloudy skies this afternoon. So we're going to continue that sunshine through tomorrow as well. And then the weekend right now shaping up to be pretty nice. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on in the forecast. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this half hour, it has been 24 years ago since those attacks on American soil. Ocean City is continuing its week of events in honor of 9/11. The town's own remembrance beams of light have been shining ever since Friday and will last through tonight. There will also be a joint tribute this morning from 8:46 to 10:28.
And happening today, there is a chance to give back, and you can also take a lap on the Monster Mile. Here's what I mean. Delmarva Blood Bank is hosting its 20th annual 9/11 Memorial Blood Drive, and this takes place at the Dover Motor Speedway from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Organizers say people who donate will have the opportunity to drive on the mile-long track, and you can call or go online to register. It was New York and Washington that were at the centers of the attacks, and this week, volunteers in New York put together millions of meals. It's part of the 9/11 Day of Service and Remembrance. It's a day co-founder David Payne came up with to honor first responders. And this year, more than 6,800 volunteers are in New York City, packing more than 2 million non-perishable meals for people who are at risk of hunger.
New this morning, the Cape Henlopen School Board will meet today with several key topics on the agenda, one of those being a discussion on the district's family life and human sexuality curriculum. Board members could also seek to combine its policies on employee leave. The school board meeting will open to the public at 6 p.m. at Love Creek Elementary.
This is one of the days where we have a lot of somber news stories, and we have another school shooting to report.
The most recent crime taking place on Wednesday in Colorado. Amy Kiley details the scary moment at a high school.
I was scared and I felt like sick because I was worried.
2 students are wounded and the juvenile suspect is dead after a shooting at a Denver area high school yesterday. The sheriff's office says the gunman opened fire with a revolver.
I know these people.
This video shows terrified students fleeing the scene and ringing a doorbell at a nearby home.
Keep running!
Others describe being inside Evergreen High School when the shooting began.
There was a message over the intercom and they basically just said that they were going into lockdown.
Police say first responders reached the scene within 2 minutes and were in contact with the suspect about 3 minutes later. In total, officials say more than 100 members of law enforcement swarmed the school.
So grateful for the really brave staff here in Jefferson County and at Evergreen, and so grateful for first responders.
Colorado Representative Jeff Hurd says he's heartbroken as a father of 5. Governor Jared Polis is reminding students about free mental health resources. Colorado Senator John Hickenlooper says Congress should find a bipartisan solution to stop school shootings.
If there were a terrorist trying to hurt our country, what more harmful thing could they do but to make our children scared to learn, scared to go to school, right? We're terrorizing ourselves.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Developing news this morning, the search continues for the suspect in connection to the shooting death of right-winged activist Charlie Kirk. Kirk was speaking at a rally at Utah Valley University. Kirk's shooting is believed to be a targeted attack, and officials now say that 2 people initially taken into custody have no ties to the deadly shooting. Now Utah's governor and other American leaders are reacting.
I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
At kind of a loss of words. It is, a horrendous thing to see.
Kirk was only 31 years old. He was a conservative activist and a father of 2 who helped found Turning Point USA.
We move on, and in Milford, the possible construction of Dollar General. It's back in front of the city's Board of Adjustment today with a review of a findings report. Recently, the parking plan was up for debate. There was a request to reduce the number of parking spaces from 54 to 48, and it was denied at a previous meeting. 54, that's what's required by city code. The developer is looking to add a new store on 2 acres of land off of South Rehoboth Boulevard.
Tonight, plans to extend a waterfront structure near the Sinnapunxet Bay are getting a look at by the Worcester County Board of Appeals. The Ruark Family LP is one of the entities making the request to modify zoning for extending 4 waterfront structures for a living shoreline project. The public hearing on this request is scheduled for 6:45 in Snow Hill.
Yeah, we got a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, major music upgrades will tell you how Spotify is catching up to its competition.
Also, Rams on the road, how Parkside's boys soccer team earned a shutout yesterday to remain undefeated.
And prepare for Major Lewis project. We'll tell you what DelDOT says you need to know about changes coming to a part of Route 1. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Good Thursday morning, Delmarva. But boy, I'll tell you what, the first 10 days of this month, we've seen a little bit of everything. Summer, spring, fall, 92. Last Saturday, we were at 68. Yesterday, about 7 days of the first 10 have been below normal. Now today, we're going to see an improvement from where we were at yesterday. Mostly cloudy skies there in Salisbury, 65 degrees. Seeing mostly sunny skies on the northern portion of the peninsula, 68 there in Lewis to 66 Indian River Inlet. Winds, though, much calmer. Still seeing that northeasterly wind flow at the coast with winds upwards of 5 to 10 miles an hour. We've had some pesky sprinkles and drizzle far western reaches of the peninsula, but high pressure is building in, and we're going to see some sunny skies by the afternoon, and it's only going to improve here over the days ahead. So we're going to see afternoon sunshine, 78 degrees, looking very nice, and it gets even milder in the days ahead. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit.
Drivers in Lewis should prepare for a road closure later this month. According to DelDOT, this is for Nassau Road at Route 1. It's part of the Minus-Conaway grade separated intersection project. Now, DelDOT says this will create a service road network in the area of Minus-Conaway Road, Nassau Road, and Old Mill Road. Video we have here shows a new service road pops up west of Route 1 with a roundabout to get onto Minus-Conaway without even touching the highway. DelDOT expects the closure to take place from September 22nd through the end of October.
First responders were called to a serious crash in Georgetown. As you can see on your screen, the Georgetown Fire Company helped clear the scene of an overturned truck Wednesday afternoon. The agency says it happened around noon. That truck briefly blocked part of Peterkins Road.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning. Let's stay in Maryland for a high school boys soccer clash. Parkside and Snow Hill battled it out last night with the Rams, hoping to keep their undefeated 2-0 start intact. We'll start with Parkside challenging Snow Hill keeper Gavin West early. He makes a really nice fingertip stave there, bails out his defense, but the Rams are going to keep up the pressure on the attack. Douglas Bozeman beating his defender, and he beats West too. Parkside, the 1-0 lead in the 24th minute. Rams, they got the ball again, this time a long shot, but West with another diving stop. His Eagles keep it a 1-goal deficit. A corner, though, by Parkside, a header, no, saved by who else but West. He's doing his best in net. End of the first half. Great look from the left side, but no surprise, West is there. Just 1-0 Parkside at the break. The Rams could be up by more. I sound like a broken record, and by the way, it's because the highlights are all Gavin West shot save. 67th minute, though, penalty shot. Bozeman scores his second of the day. Brace for Bozeman. That just sounds good. Parkside up 2-0. Moments later, Braden Grubb from a tough angle, but he scores it anyway. And that's the final straw. Parkside beats Snow Hill 3-0 and moves to 3-0 early in the season. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN, 5:30, we've got scoops and scores. That's because following that, it's live Bayside Conference football at 6 when Bennett hosts Cambridge South Dorchester. At 10:30, it's the final score. Now, you can watch that high school game on DSM Plus along with these app exclusives. 5:15, we have Salisbury Christian hosting Chicoteague girls volleyball. 5:30, there's more girls volleyball when Milford and Caesar Rodney meet. How about this? Same school, same time, different sport. Bucks and Riders meet on the soccer pitch. At 6, Kent Island takes on Middletown in football. Sunday Night Football on Coast TV on September 14th. The Atlanta Falcons visit the Minnesota Vikings. Coverage on Coast TV begins at 7.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
As we work our way towards the end of the week, we know you might need a little late week pick-me-up, and that's where Coast Life comes in. If you tune in at 4 o'clock today, here's what's going on the show. We're talking Beer, Wine, and Spirits Festival. It's back for the 8th year in a row. We're also going to be spilling a little drama, spilling a little tea, more stuff you don't want to miss with our Spill the Tea segment. And we're also going to be chatting with our friends with the Parker Group about their upcoming Aspiring Entrepreneurs event. It's definitely going to be something you don't want to miss. If you've got some big business ideas and you don't know where to start, well, our friends there have the answer. All that fun and so much more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
We're dealing with some pesky sprinkles and drizzle across the western portions of the county, but the general theme is going to be improving conditions over the morning and into the afternoon, starting off in the low to mid 60s, on our way to highs in the mid to upper 70s near that 80-degree mark, and it gets even better in the days ahead. We'll talk all about it coming up in the full 7-day forecast right after the break.
Time is now 6:45 and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning, and here is that beautiful sunrise, Chris, that we wanted to have on this camera yesterday that we did not. This is making up for that gloomy Wednesday that we experienced.
Oh yeah, it was terrible yesterday. Very raw out. We had that strong northeast wind. Rain was just kind of misty, and yeah, we're actually dealing with a few stray showers and sprinkles primarily across the western portion of the peninsula, and these are pretty much fizzling out and pushing off to the south, and dealing with a bit more cloud cover across the western half of the peninsula. Clearer skies to the north as high pressure builds in, and that area of low pressure we've been dealing with, that's lifting off to the northeast. Temperatures right now we're holding at 62 Milton, 65 Laurel, to 65 Indian River Inlet. Winds right now pretty calm, and the good news is we're going to have a pretty good beach day. We're not going to have that strong northeast wind that we had over the past 2 days. Now we still do have coastal flooding concerns here through high tide. This for the Delaware coast runs through 4 o'clock today. The next high tide cycle coming up here later this morning. Worcester County, that's up through about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Further to the south, Accomack County, that runs through 7 o'clock tomorrow. So next high tide, Lewis, 11:57. So we could see up to 1.5 feet of inundation during the high tide cycle. 11:05 there in Rehoboth. Further to the south, 11:16 Ocean City to 11:11 there Assateague Island. Partly cloudy skies through our Thursday afternoon. Highs reaching the upper 70s. Wouldn't be surprised me to see some areas hit 80, especially away from the coast through portions of the eastern shore. 76 Cambridge, winds out of the north. 5 to 15, 77 in Salisbury. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. We're going to go clear overnight. In fact, dip in the lower to mid 50s. Places like Georgetown, Delmarva. Chilly start to our Friday, but a mostly sunny, gorgeous afternoon as we rise into the upper 70s to near 80. And the weekend starts off pretty cool and dry with temperatures in the upper 50s to start on Saturday. But by the afternoon, we're at 77. Big day there, Cape Penelope State Park. Walk for prostate cancer. Registration gets underway 8 a.m. Looking very nice there. Cold front pushes through Sunday, but we stay dry and sunny through the weekend. Watching next week, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, could see an area of low pressure develop across the Carolinas. That may push northward, kind of going on the drier side of the forecast at this moment. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook looking at near normal to slightly above normal temperatures, average high 81. We're at 78 this afternoon with afternoon sunshine, overnight clear skies, 56 degrees, and a 79 degree temperature to round out our week under mostly sunny skies. And the weekend, pretty nice. I know Matt wants to soak up the last few weeks of summer, and 81 on Sunday, and we are at 79 on Monday under partly cloudy skies.
Yeah, Chris, you know me so well. Drivers should expect a slowdown on US 13 in Maryland, and that starts Monday. The Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration says a single lane closure will begin on the southbound lanes, and you can see that location that we're talking about right here on your screen. It's between Route 12 and Stockyard Road. The agency says crews are expected to complete a resurfacing by late fall.
Sewer line work coming to downtown Salisbury this weekend. According to the Department of Infrastructure and Development, work includes cleaning, inspection, and smoke testing. Crews will work on several streets, including Market Street, Poplar Hill Avenue, Baptist Street, and a part of Calvert Street. It's all taking place on Saturday with expected completion that day.
A water line replacement in Salisbury will require a brief road closure. City says the Department of Water Works will complete it in the 1100 block of Riverside Drive, and that street will be closed to drivers between Woodland Road and Douglas Road. City says work begins at 9 a.m., expected to finish around 3:30 p.m.
Spotify is finally launching high-quality audio. It's called Lossless Audio. It's high-definition CD quality streaming sound. Lossless will be free for premium subscribers. Spotify, nearly all of its 100 million songs catalog will be available in lossless format. Rivals Apple Music and Amazon Music have offered lossless audio for a few years.
Dick's Sporting Goods says it has finalized its deal to acquire Foot Locker. In May, the company said it was a $2.4 billion deal. Dick's will continue to operate Foot Locker, footwear and apparel retailer, and its other brands. Merger will create more than 3,200 locations across 20 countries worldwide.
The time is now 6:50, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Yeah, I'm glad we have this segment here. We need a little joy today, and on your screen this hour for our coastal pet is Lacey. Lacey was recently adopted. She's a bundle of energy and loves to run in the yard. Not maybe so much a bundle of energy there.
Yeah.
I bet for Lacey it is.
Probably is.
Lacey was submitted to us by Angel and Rob in Newark, Maryland. Thank you for that.
Thank you. We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Yeah, scan the QR code top of your screen to submit your friends to Coast TV News. Then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:53, and here are the things you need to know before you go. It's been 24 years since the 9/11 terror attacks on American soil. Ocean City is continuing its week of events in honor of 9/11. The town's own remembrance beam of light has been shining since Friday and will last through tonight. There will also be a joint tribute this morning from 8:46 to 10:28.
School leaders in Wicomico County say they are committed to improving safety, and that could mean weapons detection systems at school entrances. This comes shortly after an incident at Parkside High School. That's when a senior was caught with a loaded handgun in their backpack. Nobody was hurt, but the Board of Education says they are taking this very seriously.
Many honored Wednesday as World Suicide Prevention Day. It is also known as Wear Yellow Day to help spread awareness. The Wicomico County Health Department is encouraging anyone struggling with mental health to call 988. That is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, available 24/7. For people on the Eastern Shore, the Life Crisis Center in Salisbury answers many of those questions.
In Milford, the possible construction of Dollar General is back in front of the city's Board of Adjustment today with a review of a findings report. Recently, the parking plan was up for debate. That was a request to reduce the number of parking spaces from 54 to 48, and that was denied at a previous meeting because 54, that's what's required by city code. The developer is looking to add a new store on 2 acres of land off of South Rehoboth Boulevard.
Well, there's a new flavor for the legendary candy that melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
Get this, honey roasted peanut M&Ms have arrived.
And according to the company, the M&Ms combine the, quote, perfect blend of crunchy with a touch of honey sweetness. The new flavor will be a permanent member of the M&Ms lineup.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, the addition to the classic plain and peanut M&Ms, other flavors include pretzel, peanut butter and jelly, cookies, and cream, caramel, and I wasn't aware of this one, chocolate pumpkin pie.
Actually, pumpkin pie, my mom and I were talking about that because we usually like to try pumpkin flavored stuff, and she was like, I don't think I can get on board with that one. I don't know.
I'd like to try it.
I know. Chris, what about you? Do you think you'd try pumpkin flavored M&Ms?
No. I would go with the honey roasted ones. I like actually the dark chocolate ones. You ever have those ones?
No, but the peanut M&Ms. Those
the
are
peanut ones, yeah.
Favorite.
They're good. Or the almond ones actually are pretty good too.
All right, well, we'll talk about weather. Got M&Ms.
Well, we have some sprinkles across portions of Somerset, Dorchester County this morning, but those are beginning to clear, and we're going to see clearing skies, partly cloudy this afternoon. 77. We're going to see highs top out around the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. So looking at a gorgeous afternoon, and you can get your latest forecast as always by dialing our First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstep and Dallas Federico. Your 10-day forecast shows 79 on Friday, mostly sunny skies, and then we're looking at that sunshine to continue into Saturday and Sunday. A gorgeous weekend, in fact, 81. And then we're going to see temperatures fall into the mid-70s next week. Could see a system affect us next Wednesday. Going with the drier trend right now, but we'll keep a close eye on that. Could see a system off the coast bring us some shower activity off the Carolinas, but right now looking pretty nice through the weekend.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11 a.m.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on before you get to Coast TV News midday at 11, download the Coast TV News and Weather apps. This is a great sunny day, so if you want to know when's the best time to hit the beach.
You're going to be checking it to hit the beach, yeah.
Definitely tomorrow, Lisa. Definitely tomorrow. So until we see you for Coast TV News midday at 11, have a great Thursday morning, everybody.